So the Switch 2 comes out later on today. It's Wednesday for me, so that means 11 o'clock p.m. for your boy. But Thursday for everyone else on the East Coast and beyond. But there's been a lot of talk. I'm personally excited for this game, but there are some I've been seeing that says, hey, I'm not that excited for the Switch 2. All of a sudden, there's no hype behind this system. I don't know what it is, but it just feels different than the Switch 1. Oh, I don't care, man. I'm not excited for it. I mean, I bought like 3 of them, but I'm just not excited anymore. So what's going on with folks, and why aren't they excited for the Switch? What's good, everybody? It's Blue Satchel, as you just heard. I'm excited for the Switch 2. I'm looking forward to it. You can call me whatever you want, shield, blah, blah, blah. We are all allowed to spend our money how we want, be excited for what we want, and not be excited for things, and not spend money, because that's what we can do as grown people. But some folks don't feel the same. And some folks aren't excited for the Switch all of a sudden. And I say all of a sudden, these aren't the same people that from jump said, hey, I don't know why I would want to Switch 2 right now. I'm going to wait on the game that I like to come out. That's fair. I understand that completely. The game, it costs too much. I understand that completely. $80 for Mario Kart? I understand that completely. I'm waiting on Pokemon. I understand that completely. But there are people out here saying that the Switch 2 launch is very lacking and worse than the Switch 1 and other systems, and I don't know about that. So I want to look into that. So first and foremost, if you could, like and subscribe, and let me know in the comment section. Are you getting the Switch 2? Are you excited for it, or does it feel meh to you too? And what games you gonna be playing if you are getting it? But let's get into it. First, let me start off before I start talking that. Before I've been seeing everything I saw on Twitter the past couple of days about not being excited all of a sudden, people that wasn't at first have totally legit reasons for why they're not excited for it, and I understand them completely. Gaming costs a lot these days, and when they saw that a new console was coming out at $450, which at the Switch 2, not that bad in my opinion, because it's very upgraded. We're getting 4K visuals, 60 frames, 120 frames, all of that stuff. I'm not gonna get too technical today, but it is an extreme leap from what we had from the 2017 Nintendo Switch, the base level one, because it was not strong at all. It was already behind when it came out. And people ask since 2018, 2019 was always ready for a Switch Pro, a Switch, I need 4K Switch. And now we actually have that. And I think that's why the system is worth it to me, but then you go to these games and there was that big Mr. Inspiration debacle about Mario Kart being $90 physical, $80 digital or something like that, which was turned out to be false. Unless you live in certain countries, but the base game was $80, which still is a lot. That $80 for a game, it kind of hurt. But that has people going around saying all Switch games will be $80. And that's not the case, because we've seen the price of other games. Donkey Kong is gonna be $70 like other games. And this was gonna happen anyway. It sucks, I hate it, I don't like it, but I understand it. And anyone who doesn't want to buy a game or want to waste for sales or don't want to buy a new system with things like this, I completely understand. But what I don't understand is, why do people always kind of just get mad that people actually want to play this system and they're actually going to enjoy this? They actually like the thought of Mario Kart World being a launch title, because I've seen so many tweets saying things like, I've never been less excited for a console launch than the Nintendo Switch 2. I pre-ordered one as soon as I could, but now the launch just feels a bit, And good to hear I'm not the only one feeling this way. I know that this thing is going to be successful, but man, this feels very different from the original Switch launch. And I'm here to tell you that's a lie, because I don't know if y'all remember this, but it was very doom and gloom when this original Switch came out. Everyone said it was going to fail. Nintendo should just go to third party and sell their games. The Switch is going to be the last system that Nintendo makes because the Wii U was such a failure. It doesn't look fun. There's no games. What are they saying? Because I don't think it feels different at all. I think the Switch 2 lineup is actually better than the Switch lineup. And a lot of people are going to go in the comment section, but Breath of the Wild, but Breath of the Wild, but Breath of the Wild. And you're right. Breath of the Wild is a very dope launch game. That is an epic launch game. But guess what? Zelda before Breath of the Wild did not sell the way it's selling now. It never cracked 10 million sales before Breath of the Wild came out. And it was never really a launch title for most of the systems. And speaking of launch titles, everyone's saying, hey, why we can't have multiple Nintendo games? We ain't really seen that in a minute either. And Nintendo's strategy for the Switch 1, which helped it, was spreading out games, because again, we didn't get multiple big first party games on the Switch 1 either when it first came out. We literally just got Zelda. Look at this list and tell me what big game on here besides Breath of the Wild makes it better than the Switch 2. 1-2 Switch should have been free. I shouldn't even pay for that. This might have been the worst thing that I ever had. And y'all telling me that's peak. That's peak. You're a peak lie. Just Dance 2017. We done played all Just Dances since 2001. It ain't no different besides the music, but Just Dance is fun, not gonna lie to you. But that ain't no Switch exclusive. Skylanders Imaginations. Who in here playing Skylanders? Your baby brother, your baby sister? Yeah. True. Super Bomberman R. Actually a legit game. Actually pretty good. But again, not really super big. I Am Setsuna. Actually a good game. But y'all wasn't playing no I Am Setsuna. And that's not a system seller. It is a good game though. Snipper Clips. Now, that's a Nintendo game. But don't nobody talk about Snipper Clips. But I will tell you, it is a solid game. That's a very solid game. Shovel Knight. You can't go wrong with Shovel Knight. It's a very good game. And Fast RMX, which ironically is getting another fast game on the Switch too. So they're like twins right now. But still, that's not super big. And that's literally everything that launched on the first day. That's literally all you got. Literally everything you got. But that's the best Nintendo Switch launch lineup for some people. And the Switch 2 is very disappointing with their launch day. Not the launch era window, but the launch day. You telling me that's better? I don't think so. Let's look at the Switch 2. But first, let me remind you, that was only 10 games. 10 games you had a choice to play. 10 games, period. That's it. Let's look at the Switch 2. Of course, you do have Mario Kart. That's the big game. And a lot of people feel it shouldn't be a launch title, but I ask you why not? Because I watch every day. There are people still playing Mario Kart Wii. Mario Kart 8 still is booming after 2014. Coming out in 2014. And people are still playing Mario Kart 8 because they want a new Mario Kart so bad. And we're finally getting it. You think people gonna stop playing this game? I know that $80 price is but if you ever spent $80 on the game that you was gonna play a long time, this was one of those games. It's gonna be around for another, I can't do math, another 10, 12, 13, 14 years. But I understand Breath of the Wild was a little bit stronger. You got the Nintendo Switch 2 welcome to it. Should have been free. Should have been the pack free. But now I'm looking at people review this and people playing this, and all of a sudden they saying that this game actually has a lot to it and way more than they thought. But ain't nobody gonna play that. It's $10, but still, it's solid. It's still more. That's already 2 Nintendo games. Boom. That's all. We done tied the Switch. We done tied the Switch 1 with Nintendo games just like that. Even though that one really don't count. But on top of that, I understand why people say, "Hey, we're getting all these remakes and games that already came out, like Cyberpunk 2077." Hitman World Assassination and Fortnite and Hogwarts Legacy, which I don't care about. Kanutsigami, Path to Guidance, you know. What else? Sid Meier's Civilization, Sonic X Shadow, things like that. Suikoden 1 and 2, Street Fighter 6, Survival Kit. Oh wait, that's new. But I already just named way more games than the other place. And the thing about that is, I get it, but think about how many people who didn't get a Switch or only had a Switch. A lot of them didn't play Cyberpunk 2077. A lot of people didn't play Cyberpunk 2077, believe it or not, because they still think it's bugged. And Cyberpunk is one of the best games I ever played. And get this version might play better than the Steam Deck version. So there will be people buying this Cyberpunk 2077. I've seen people say they're gonna double. I see somebody say they're gonna buy it again. They bought it 4 times already. What? Deltarune get a new chapter. Fantasy Life, one of the games that I loved the most this year, getting the Switch 2 edition. Rune Factory, that's a big game for me. I think it's gonna be a lot of people not talking about Rune Factory Guardians of Azuma. That's a new game coming to the Switch day 1 and the Switch 2 that I don't think enough people talking about. And this rating so far looking pretty good. But the main thing for me is I already got more to play than I did for the Switch 1, with more to come. But the big thing is, on top of that, what about these upgrades? A lot of people are going to be playing Breath of the Wild, that game that you love, the Switch 1 again, Tears of the Kingdom again. Some people are going to be playing it for the first time because a lot of people could not stand the graphics or the way things move. We talking about Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. A lot of people are so excited to get back into that. And we have a lot of people that shiny hunt. We like a lot of people that love collecting and battling. You think people not gonna go through this game again and collect their Pokemon and shiny hunt on a Scarlet and Violet that runs the way it was supposed to run, not looking like chopped cheese and chopped liver and freeze battles, red light, green light battles every time I go somewhere? Those upgrades give me way more to play than I did when the first Switch came out. And let's talk about the 3 games we're getting on GameCube, Nintendo Switch Online. So many people beg for GameCube games. And we're already getting Legend of Zelda Wind Waker, F-Zero GX, and Soul Calibur 2. That's gonna be a lot of playtime. And for me, looking at all of that, there's already more for me to play. I don't even know if I talked about Nobunaga's Ambition. Y'all don't know nothing about that. I don't know if I talked about Bravely Default Flying Fairy HD Remaster, one of the best Square games, one of the best traditional turn-based games out there. And I know y'all been loving y'all Clair Obscur, Expedition 33. It ain't the same, but this is turn-based and it's cool. But to be fair, I can't agree that the Switch 1 launch titles are better than the Switch 2. Now, there might not be 2 big, super heavy hitter Nintendo games that, no, fair enough. I think that I get why people say maybe if we got Mario Kart, give me a big single player game too. But Nintendo's strategy of drip feeding us their Nintendo games throughout the year has showed to be successful for them. The first year we got Mario. On the first Switch, we got Breath of the Wild. Then they gave us Mario Kart 8 the very next month. Then we got Splatoon 2. Then we got Mario Odyssey. Then we got Xenoblade Chronicles 2. That's fire. And this year, we know that we're getting Donkey Kong, a new Donkey Kong, something that's been asking for the very next month. We're getting Kirby Air Riders sometime soon, which is going to be very fun and very different. We're getting Pokemon, even though it's going to be on the Switch too, we're getting Pokemon Legends ZA. We're getting Metroid Prime 4. This is gonna be a good year for the Switch, and albeit there'll be some things for people that want to see other things that they want. They're waiting for things like a single player Mario, a first mainline Pokemon. They're waiting for Animal Crossing. They're waiting for some games to come out before they buy Smash maybe, and that's perfectly fine. But I can't agree that the Switch 2 launch window sucks compared to every other system in recent years. I don't know if I was there for the PS4. Child, that was dry. I had nothing to play for months. PS5, you can't tell me the PS5 was better. Let's go to Xbox. Almost all of their games was third party, except for Forza Horizon, I think. How about it? Gears Tactics? What? I think Halo came out too. Who remembers? Who cares? I say all that to say, the Switch 2 will have games. They will be coming out. And it's nothing wrong with waiting to get your Switch 2 if you think it's not gonna be exciting. If you went out here and you was excited to pre-order and get 3 of them, get 4 of them, get 2 of them, I still ordered it, but I ain't excited about it. Then give it back. Leave it alone. I don't know. This is just me ranting. This is my rant video before this system come out. In conclusion, I do think that there are several good reasons why people would wait on this system, or wait on the games. They're not excited. I get that. But there's some people that I just kind of turn my head at a little bit, because I feel like everybody's just negative these days. Everybody wants to be the person that's not excited for something, especially the people that was excited a week ago. But they announced that none of these the big media companies getting the Switch early to review, and maybe that's part of the problem. Maybe people were so used to getting these systems early to review them, and they're not excited no more because they're not getting it before everybody else. And I think that's the thing. I don't know about y'all, but I think that's the thing. Also, I think that there's a thing of knowing what we're getting. The Switch 1 was new in this concept. We knew we were getting a handheld. We knew we were getting these games. But the Switch 2 is just essentially a stronger Switch with more new games to come. So it's not super innovative. So maybe they'll eliminate a lot of folks' excitement because we're getting what we're asked for. This is what people ask for. The majority of folks just ask for, I don't want nothing new, nothing there. I just want a Switch that's stronger and can play my games. And that's what I like about the Switch 2, is that it'll actually be able to compete. And when I say compete, actually get some other games, third-party games. This is the first launch in a long time for Nintendo that has big third-party support. You can take it all the way back to the Wii, the GameCube. They haven't had third-party support like this since the N64. The Switch was okay, but a lot of developers did not trust the Switch. But now this is the first time that third-party developers and other folks are super on board with Nintendo, and we're getting more games at launch and throughout the year. I guarantee you on the Summer Game Fest, there's gonna be more games that we're getting that hasn't been announced yet, that might even come out that same day. So I think there's plenty to play. I think that Switch 2 launch lineup is way better than we giving it credit for. I do agree that Breath of the Wild is a heavy hitter, but Mario Kart is just as good. To sit here and act like Mario Kart World is not a big game, it's not a big hitter that's not gonna be played over and over again, is just wow. There's so much that people can do with that. I saw somebody say it's a party game, we're not gonna play that all the time. I don't know about that. Mario Kart be booming all the time. But that's it for my rant. This video has gone on way too long. Let me know in the comment section how you feel about what I said. There's nothing wrong with not being excited. Let me get that off my chest immediately. There's nothing wrong with not being excited because it's, again, the economy is something else, games cost, and maybe it's just not your cup of tea, and that's totally fine. But let's not cap about the things and the situations that's going on, and it is what it is. Let people be excited for this Switch 2. Also, let people not be excited for this Switch 2. Just do you. Have fun with what you're having. There's so many games to play, and I honestly don't need a lot of stuff to come out for the Switch 2 right now because there's so much to play everywhere else as well. I'm booked and I'm busy, and y'all gonna be sitting on this channel real soon. But I appreciate y'all for watching. Y'all have a good one, and bye-bye.